Ladies and gents, he, she, they, them, va, fangul. It is I, Echo Craft. It's been a while. I was off for 5 days. You think I would have posted something about synthesizers or about, like, you know, music or anything, right? But I didn't, because I have been working on my studio. I finally got everything all MIDI'd up properly, I hope. Seems to be working. Yeah. The other thing is, I've also been working on my Kumite track. This one's gonna be a banger for sure. Been working very diligently on this one. No average bullshit from me right now. I'm going full guns, full blown. You know, writing in the DAW. Played guitar on it. You tell me if you know where the guitar is, because it doesn't sound like a guitar, which I'm very proud of, because it sounds like a synth. And that was done with plugins and an amplifier. So, yeah. And anyway, I know Samurai is gone somewhere. I don't know where he is. He's around somewhere. Hopefully we'll hear from him. Hopefully we'll hear from Mr. Hans Volt. I know Chuck and I have been chit-chatting back and forth. Sorry, the machine's won. I always do that to you, brother. Sorry, my bad. I'm good at doxing, I guess, right? Isn't that what it's called? Doxing? Detoxing? I don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, so here I am on my way to the coal mine. I've been off for 5 days. It was glorious. I went and saw my favorite band, 9 Inch Nails, Friday the 13th. Yeah, big stuff. Big stuff. I have to tell you, I've seen 9 Inch Nails one other time. I saw them at a smaller venue at the Wang Center in Boston. Hey, no offense. But anyway, yeah, so talk a little bit about the 9 Inch Nails concert. I will tell you, it was absolutely fucking amazing. The special effects, the lighting, but what was the best was the music. Trent Reznor's voice was spot on. I mean, like, at some point it sounded like an album. If you haven't checked him out, check out Boys Noise. Trent does this whole thing where he goes into the center stage and he jams with a couple of the bandmates, but he jams with a DJ that's just cutting up the tracks. And I gotta tell you, laying down the law, man, it was fucking awesome. I hope they make a live album out of it. I went with my buddy Phil, and it was amazing. I gotta tell this story. So, I wear a chain wallet, and the reason why I wear a chain wallet is because, you know, when you ride motorcycles back in the day, you know, you wore a chain wallet so that the wallet won't fall out and you won't lose it. I've always worn one, and so I'm standing in line in the venue waiting to get in. At this point, they've opened the doors, we're waiting, we're just chit-chatting, there's a bunch of people around. You go through the metal detector goes off, they said, oh, you gotta go in this way. So I go in the other way, and I show, it's like, oh, my keys and the chain, and they're like, okay, go ahead. So I go ahead, and I'm waiting in the fucking line, and all of a sudden this young lady comes up, and she says, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to remove the chain. I looked at her, and I go, what? Yeah, you have to remove the chain. I go, okay, all right, yeah, this is great. So you're gonna take the chain away from me. Well, you could put it in a locker downstairs. You could come with me and put it in a locker. And I'm like, oh, I'm not getting out of line to put a fucking chain in a locker. But this is the thing, like, this is the place that we live. This is where we live, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and she says, well, it's the band's policy. And I said, no, it's not. The band doesn't give a fuck about chains and fucking boots, because there's people in there with chains on their boots, and there were people there with biker style belts on with studs, and nobody gives a it's the venue policy. It's bullshit. And I gotta tell you something, I'm venting right now because, okay, whatever, the chain came with the wallet. You know, I spent all but what, $29, $30 on a wallet with a chain, right? Chains, you know, you can go on Amazon, you go on biker.com, you can get chain wallet, chains, wallets, whatever the fuck you want from them with, you know, for like anywhere from $7 to literally $1,000 for a chain, because they're sterling silver, some of them, right? Yeah. So I was like, whatever, just take the chain. I go, this is ridiculous. So I give her the chain, and she's like, well, you know, sorry, but that's policy. I go, yeah, it's your policy. It's not the fucking band's policy. You know, that happened to me once before at a small venue in Worcester called the Palladium. And I went to see Seven Dust and Blacklight Burns, and the guy was like, "Oh, you can't come in here with a chain on. It could be used as a weapon." So I took the chain off, I put it in the truck. You know, I just sit there and I go, anything can be used as a fucking weapon, douchebags. Seriously, I could pick up a chair and whack you over the head with it. I could take a fucking can or a bottle and stab you in the face. I could take a plastic bottle, right? Crush it in my hand, use the nozzle part of it and punch you in the face with it. I know how to street fight. Anything could be used as a weapon. You know, it's just so fucking pathetic. So they confiscate something that belongs to you, that you paid for. Oh, you could get it back if you put it in a locker. How fucking stupid is that, right? So, you know, and they used to do this before with cell phones. There are some concerts like Jack White, he confiscates your fucking cell phones. That's the band policy. That's a band policy. That's an artist policy. That's a bullshit policy. Nobody's taking my property away from me, especially a cell phone. You know? It's such fucking stupidity and bullshit. Right? So, anyway, I laughed it off. Me and my buddy laughed it off. It was just stupid. So, you know, the kind of person I am is like, all right, well, I'm in the venue now at this point. We're sitting in our seats and we're listening to the Boys Noise, because he opened also for the 9 Inch Nails show. Amazing tracks this guy was laying down. And here I am on Amazon buying a new chain for my wallet, because that's how I am. That's how I think. This is I spent $7.99 on another chain for my wallet, you know, which is fucking stupid, man. I mean, you know, this kind of bullshit needs to stop.
It can be used as a weapon.
What the fuck? Anyway, so then you know, I've been to venues, I've been to concerts, but I haven't bought food at a venue in a long time. And so my buddy drove in, so I said, hey man, you know, I'll pay for parking, I'll pay for whatever you want to eat or whatever, you know, that's cool, because it takes him an hour just to get to my house from where he lives. So I said, I'll take care of that shit, don't worry about it. So, you know, we sit there and we go in, and like, he's hungry. I'm like, yeah, I can eat. I mean, I had a sandwich before I left the house, but I was like, yeah, I'm hungry, you know, I can eat. You know, it was a pita bread sandwich, you know, a salad sandwich kind of thing. It doesn't really fill you up, but, you know, I had to eat something. So anyway, so I get a sausage for myself with onions and peppers, and I get him, you know, because I'm Italian, that's how I roll. And I get him a fucking hot dog, right? He gets a fucking hot dog, right? And he gets a large drink, and I get a fucking bottled water. Ready? $54 fucking dollars. What the fuck? Bro, I could have bought 4 packages of hot dogs, a liter of Coke, and a package of buns, and still had left. I just sit there and I go, wow, talk about fucking sticking you in the ass. Like, Yeah, I'm swearing. I don't give a fuck. You got a problem with it, don't watch. Right? I'm venting. But I gotta tell you, all that crap being said, the chain, the $50, for $54, him and I could have went to a restaurant and sat down, right? I mean, ridiculous. But that's what they do. That's how they get you, right? Oh, and there was, I don't drink, but there was $5 beers at this bar only. $5 beers. What, are they coming a cup this big? Come on. Jesus, Mary and Jehoshaphat. Talk about sticking it to the customer. But anyway, all that being said, the show was unbelievable. His voice was spot on. The music was amazing. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I went. I wasn't going to miss that for the world anyway. Like I said, Nine Inch Nails is one of my favorite bands, and really, really enjoy it. Sorry for the noise. Got the window open. Because of my ranting, it's getting a little foggy in here. Because I'm blowing off a lot of carbon monoxide. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if you're a fan of Nine Inch Nails, guys, but I really like them. The Fragile album really got me through my divorce. My buddy John turned me on to it, and I was into Nine Inch Nails anyway, but he was like, you got to check this album out, man. It just come out, and he's like, I'm telling you, it's great. And a lot of it got me through my divorce, and it was just great. It was it really made me feel good, and I don't know. Sometimes music does that, it'll get you through things, it'll either spiritually move you, or it'll just take away the pain, take away the angst, Could give you angst, could give you pain, I don't know, however way you look at it. But yeah, just really, and they played a bunch of songs off of that album, which I was very happy about. It was just good, man, There were 3 stages. There was the Boys Noise stage was at one end of the arena. Then there was a stage dead set in the middle, and that's where they opened the show. And then it goes to the main stage where all the band's equipment is. The drummer, Josh Freese, is back, great drummer. Really happy that I got a chance to see him play live. I saw the other drummer live. I think his name is Elon. I forget his name. He's fantastic too. Young guy, great drummer, has his own album out and stuff. But Josh Freese is like, it's kind of like Frick, on the guitar. It's like, these guys are staples in the Nine Inch Nails band, so it was cool to see him play, and he's a fantastic drummer. So really enjoyed that. And Trent's getting old, man. As we all are, and he's still kicking it, and he's not as ripped as he was in past tours. I think he's calmed down on the weightlifting and all that stuff, or whatever he's doing. He looked good though, and he looked healthy, and that's all that matters, right? Is that we're all healthy, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Touch with a synthesizer note. I don't know if anybody saw the I think his name's Bartek, his demo of the JN80, the new Behringer clone of the Juno 60. I gotta tell you, I went and pre-ordered it. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it. And it's a Renegade, because Sammy did, and the demo that Pat Dog did speaks volumes on that synthesizer. People are like, wow, you got a Deep Mind 12, you've already got it. No, Deep Mind 12 is a completely different bird. I got a Juno X. People say, well, the Juno X sounds no. Every synthesizer has its own unique flavor. That's the way I look at it. So, you just got to enjoy them all, man, and that's what you can't take them with you, that's all I know. So I'm just going to enjoy them all while I'm still on this planet. And yeah, I'm almost at the coal mine now, and it's been a glorious 5 days off. It was nice. It was relaxing. I did a lot of nothing. I chilled on the couch, watched some movies, hung out with my dog and my wife. That's about it. Went to see the 9 Inch Nails show. It was good. Wrote a new song. Yeah, that's about it. So like I always say, kids, stay frosty, stay creative, don't drink and drive, watch your six, and hopefully I'll be doing a new video this week in the studio. Gonna show off the meatball pedal. By the way, I use that on the new album, the new song as well for the Kumite, but I use that with a guitar. But yeah, stay frosty, stay creative, watch your six. God bless you all. Peace.